7 of the matchups of the previous 11. Actually, George Mason, I should say, I correct myself, George Mason hasn't won this series since back in 2019. Tip is controlled by Rhode Island. We are underway. All right, Julian, what do you want to see from both these teams right out of the gate?
I'm really curious to see how Honey, you mentioned her, and Sophie Phillips are covered by George Mason.
Right off the gap. That's Carr with the bucket there from the top of the circle. If she gets going, could be a long night for George Mason.
Yeah, and then she's got to, obviously, Carr, Honey, we can call her throughout the broadcast a bit, has to have a big game.
This is Paula Suarez from Spain. Passes it inside. Zalani Keja, the former collegiate volleyball player. Misses inside, and back come the Rams.
If Carr and Phillips can play well for Rhode Island, that will really be key, because they were double teamed the other night and they were forcing other players to have to beat them when they lost to Davidson, which was a really key storyline. Will George Mason do that here against them?
Zahira Walton called for the personal foul. They were trying to get the entry pass into Awa Kamara. So Rhode Island will inbound on the baseline here. They'll get it into Dutat. Rhode Island out to the early 2-0 advantage here on George Mason. Once again, it's Carr. Launches, misses that time. Long rebound, nearly came out to her. Ricochets off her fingertips. George Mason trying to save it, trying to double save. And just in the right spot there was Paula Suarez, because that was nearly a turnover.
George Mason's going to have to continue to track those rebounds down, because this is a team in Rhode Island that's they're top in O boards, so they're looking to hunt down their own misses.
Walton with the bucket on this end. We're all knotted up at 2. Trying to get a dump off into Carr on that drive from Vital. It goes out of play. It's last touch by George Mason. Will stay with the Rams with 8:29 to go here in this first quarter. Rhode Island at 2-1. Got off to a 2-0 start in the A-10. Just coming off that loss to Davidson, who's right at the top of the league.
And they've lost a lot. They've lost 4 starters, a lot of production that they've had to make up for this year. 2 players they lost to Power 5 schools that were in their 5th years. So this is a team that Tammy Reese had to replace a lot. She had to go in and replenish from the portal, and they had to build chemistry over time. So I think they like where they're at right now, but they still have a ways to go in terms of their development as an organization, as a team this year.
This is Kennedy Harris. Talked about her in the open. Dish off, little drive. Miss on that attempt there. That was Taviana Habib with the miss.
Rhode Island wants to make this a low-scoring affair.
Right.
George Mason can really score it.
Here's Harris. Lost her defender, pulls up, misses. And a rebound to Vital. Vital with the kick out. This is Carr. Carr asking for it on the block, didn't get it to her there. Vital back out to Carr. She's going to launch the triple. Miss short. Offensive rebound though, Kumara.
That's what they do well. They're going to hunt those O boards. Can they capitalize off of it? Tammy Reese said they haven't enough throughout the season been able to get points on the board after getting those boards.
And we're going to get a whistle against Rhode Island here. On offensive fouls, you get a look at Tammy Reese there. 5-1 record when allowing 51 points or fewer this season. But the magic number really for them is on the offensive side. When they score 63 points, they are 7-0. When they score fewer than 63 points, they are 0-9.
Yeah, and she told us that when we talked to her before the game. And listen, we can't just be a defensive team. That's going to always be there. We've got to be better offensively to hang with the upper echelon teams like George Mason, for instance, here today.
This is Keja. Work inside. That's a nice strong move to the hoop, but just comes up empty there. On the right side, it's Vital. Vital drives, misses. Trying to switch hands there from left to right. All knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Rhode Island on the baseline.
And Vital has really been one of their primary ball handlers throughout this season. Earned starting minutes, looking to really distribute.
Nice pass in the Carr, looking for that assist. And Carr misses again. Carr made her first shot attempt since then. She's missed 3 in a row. Baseline J, off the mark. Off the heel. Here comes Rhode Island. Both teams struggling with their shots right now. Both are 1 of 6 from the field. This is Dutat. Strong move into the lane, a little fall away. And was way off the mark. They say last touch George Mason will stay with Rhode Island with 14 on the shot clock. That shot did not hit the rim. Lonnie Kasia was arguing the case that it was last touch Rhode Island. DeBraz is in. Inez DeBraz, one of the many French players on this Rhode Island team.
Oh yeah, we can definitely get into that connection. A lot of international swag on this URI team.
DeBraz misses. Carr with the rebound underneath. Comes up empty there. Another miss from Carr.
And that's been the big problem for Rhode Island this season, is just the extra possessions that they are gaining, they're not capitalizing on. So if they can do that, they're going to be a next level team. Nice play.
That ends the string of 8 straight misses for Rhode Island. Carr had been 1 of 6. She made her first, missed 5 in a row, and gets a bucket there as Rhode Island reclaims the lead.
The transfer from San Diego, I mean, she's been really getting it done. There's a lot on her shoulders offensively.
This is Paula Suarez from Pamplona, Spain. Nice drive, but a little bit too much loft on that shot. Kind of sailed over the spot on the backboard she wanted to hit. All knocked out of play. It'll stay with George Mason.
And there's Honey. How about that for a move? Nice little fake. Gets right in between the defenders. Not an easy play by her. And she has been, like I mentioned, double teamed at times throughout this season. It's not always easy for her to get easy looks.
Here's Harris. Finds some room, lets it fly from 18. Miss. Crashing the boards there was Habib. And she can't get it to go. In transition, here come the Rams. What a pass inside. Kamara is there for the lay-in.
Yeah, that's tremendous. That's quite the outlet pass. I mean, that's what you've got to do when you get it. You get easy opportunities, easy looks. And just a tremendous effort here from Rhode Island with the opportunity on the defensive end. DeBraz with the beautiful pass and the lay-in at the other end, the finish in Kamara. Nice start for Rhode Island.
Huh? Oh, that's very,
Right?
This store doesn't have agent force, so an AI agent didn't tip off the stylist as to what I might actually wear.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a commitment. Hey, bud, what do you think?
You know, people can see you out here.
Yeah, right. Love you too.
Agent Force helps retailers prevent fashion fails. It's what AI was meant to be.
On Chewy, save 35% and shop all your favorite brands. For any taste or any diet, at prices you love, delivered fast. For low prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Hey, get off your... Show off. Mountain Dew.
Our to-do lists can feel never-ending, but I don't have to stress about meal planning or eating healthy anymore. How? Hungry Root.
Hungry Root delivers healthy groceries with easy 4-ingredient recipes, so you can have a healthy home-cooked meal in minutes. With Hungry Root, you save hours planning, shopping, and cooking. That's why 96% of customers feel less stressed after joining. Hungry Root, healthy groceries and simple recipes. Plus, get free veggies for life.
Eva, if you had to choose, herding cats or shopping for benefits?
Definitely benefits. Gusto helps me wrangle health insurance, 401k, workers' comp, and more for my team.
Is she supposed to be up there?
Fifi.
Benefits and payroll work better with Gusto.
If your cat's litter makes you do this, you need this. Pretty Litter is an odor-busting, low-dust, health monitoring solution to your cat's litter box. Scan the code on screen for your exclusive TV offer or visit prettylitter.com today.
At Grainger, we know dealing with the unexpected is part of your job description. And you made a promise to keep the line running, to power through the downpour, to be the one who always gets it done. And our promise is to help you do it with professional-grade supplies for every industry, plus same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. Because you can't predict the future, but with the right partner, you can be prepared for it. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
6-2 our score here in Kingston, Rhode Island. 4:50 to go in this first quarter. Rhode Island to the early advantage. And George Mason had gotten off to an 11-1 start, their best start in program history. Now at 12-3, you can see one of 3 A-10 teams in the top 50 in the net. You can see Richmond, St. Joe's, George Mason, Davidson starting to make the climb a little bit because they're playing their best basketball of the year right at the top of the A-10 right now. Rhode Island, you know, got off to a rough start to their season at 4-8, but playing much better since A-10 play began.
Yeah, I know Tammy told us that before the game. She had hoped they would have been able to win a couple of those games in the early part of the season, but they were still trying to figure themselves out. But yeah, this is a really tough conference this year. I mean, there's a lot of teams here in that upper echelon we just saw that can hang with anyone in the country.
And you talk to the coaches around the league in the Atlantic 10, they really feel that this is a year they could get perhaps 3 teams into the NCAA tournament.
And that's all about scheduling, right? You've got to schedule tough non-conferences. And Richmond did a really good job, especially you saw Richmond, their non-conference schedule was incredible, and they won it last year. And that's how you get more teams into the big dance. And I think teams in this conference are starting to figure that out, and you've got to just test yourselves early. And you might drop some games, but you might win some, and that's huge.
Palmier Mbu called for the foul. It was her first, so free throws here for George Mason. And after that miss, it's out of play. 2 misses from Walton. Here Walton at the free throw line there for George Mason. And it's been a rough go of it shooting the basketball here in Kingston for the Patriots. Here's Phillips, in and out.
Phillips is their sharpshooter who they need to get her some looks and some touches from the perimeter to stretch the floor. And George Mason's got to use their ability to take it off the bounce and get some opportunities out the rim.
Have more on Phillips in a bit as Suarez on the drive. Nice take there from Paula Suarez, one of the co-captains.
She must have heard me there.
Yeah.
Get to the rim.
Leads the team in assists. She's the type of player that does whatever you need her to on a given night. It's a good, nice pass inside. Nice little drop step there from Kamara for the lay-in.
And Rhode Island is playing with patience and poise, and they're getting some interior looks like they want.
Suarez shoots it at 38% from downtown. If they can get her open for one, it turns the ball over there.
Well, that was a good double team on Suarez. Suarez could not see where to pass the ball because of it.
Left wide open for the triple. Too strong that time. Suarez chases it down.
And you can tell that's Coach Reese's plan here to not allow Suarez to really run the show at the point.
Working inside.
I mean, their defense is just incredible right now. Rhode Island is just swallowing up George Mason in the middle. They're not letting them do and get what they want.
Drive and a score. Palmier Mbu run the Rhode Island lead up to 6 now.
And that's important to get some production from a lot of different people.
Giving chase and nearly coming up with a steal there was Dubras.
I mean, to get to the rim, I mean, this is the best way to do it, is get some buckets on the board by getting to the rim. I mean, Rhode Island is not known for their perimeter shooting, so you know that's what they want to do.
Harris. And we're going to get an offensive foul called against George Mason. It's going to be against Kasia. That's her first foul. So just nothing going right for George Mason at the moment. Phillips trying to work it in the car. Tough on the handle, and it's a takeaway here from George Mason.
Now George Mason's being forced to run the shot clock a little more. They typically like to shoot within the first 5 or 10 seconds of the shot clock, and they're not getting anything. And that's kudos to the defense here from Rhode Island.
Launching up top, trying to bank it in. Mitchell can't get it to fall. Another outside shot. This time it's short. Back come the Patriots. This is Harris. Harris working inside. Has it blocked from the side. Sophie Phillips with a nice defensive play there.
Yeah, it's a great job. Phillips coming out of nowhere with that length.
Here's Carr launching. Too strong. Got her own rebound. Attacks the rim. Got it to go.
Wow, what a play by Carr. You know, she reminds you a little bit of like an Elena Deladon, with just the way that she moves and plays the game. Of course, not too many people are EDD, but she's got that swag, that ability to score.
Rhode Island has run the lead to 12-4, a 6-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes.
The booking app I used didn't have Agent Force, so an AI agent didn't know to move my reservations inside or know what I like to eat, which is not that.
What's up, my brother? Oh, hey, bud. We really needed this rain, right?
Agent Force helps restaurants prevent dining disasters.
Paddle on over.
It's what AI was meant to be.
We got you, brother.
Back here in Rhode Island, George Mason trailing the Rams 12-4.
And Rhode Island's doing what they do best, and that's a terrific job by Sophie Phillips on the defensive end, just getting in the right position to use her body, and that led to this offensive play. Now that's just tracking your own rebound. That's honey right there. Carr just doing her thing, following her shot. Textbook basketball right there.
Suarez floats a pass into Kasia. She draws the foul. Free throws coming up here for George Mason. This Patriots team needs to see that ball go into the basket right now. They're one of their last 13 from the field, have not scored in nearly 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to really just make you feel that lack of confidence. If they can get to the rim, get to the free throw line, this is important, Alex, to be able to get there, to see it going in.
Ayanna Franks was called for the foul as we get a miss from the free throw line. And you can catch this Rhode Island squad again in action next Sunday as they host Duquesne at noon Eastern. It's right here on CBS Sports Network. 1 of 2 at the line there for Nalani Kasia. Rhode Island defense playing just about as well as you could expect. This afternoon affair here in Kingston, Rhode Island. Braz. The dribble handoff to Carr. Back up top to Braz. 5 on the shot clock. Gotta hurry. DeBraz works it to the block. Tosses it up. Hits only glass. Here comes George Mason. Suarez attacks the rim. Left-hand layup is good. They needed to see that.
Yeah, really great job by Suarez. And she just has that ability to move, get to the rim, has that European flavor into her game. Doesn't let it go too fast.
Suarez, one of the top assist getters in the A-10. When they need her to distribute, she can. When they need her to score, she can. As Rhode Island loses out of play with 1 and 9/10 seconds remaining here in this first quarter.
They're also making Suarez score more this year, which is why you see her being more assertive.
So the kind of shot they get up here with 1.9. One from half court here. The heave, oh, off the backboard, hits the rim. But that's going to do it.
Accomplished here today so far. They're playing their style. They're defending. They're making everything tough for George Mason. They want this to be a low-scoring game, an ugly game. The lower-scoring game this is, the more it favors Rhode Island for a victory.
Yeah, George Mason's the second highest scoring team in the Atlantic 10 at 75 points per game. It's nice. Take to the bucket there.
They've got the talent. They've got a lot of depth on this George Mason team. A lot of people they can turn to.
Nice to get off to a quick start into the second quarter. Nice pass inside to Kamara. Got great position there.
And Kamara looks really good. I mean, she's been tough. She's really moving underneath, fighting for positioning, and they're getting her the basketball.
Get it back in the hands of Zahira Walton. Misses on that shot. Rhode Island running down quickly. Nice pass, feed to the cutter, score the basket and the foul. What a pass to Kamara for the finish.
That's the way to get out and run, and Rhode Island has been able to find success in rebounding and then running, and this outlet pass is just a terrific pass from Vital all the way up to Kamara, who's had a tremendous game so far. And she, over the last few games, is averaging 65% from the field. So she has really been shooting everything around the rim and been terrific.
Kamara, one of the other members of this French connection here at Rhode Island. She's perfect from the field, 4 for 4 today. And a nice drive to the bucket there. So George Mason starting to pick it up here offensively, get a little more aggressive to the rim. Here's Phillips. Kind of trapped underneath the basket. Get it back out. Three-point attempt from the top. Got it to go. Vital from downtown. Doesn't shoot many, but shoots it well from out there. 56%.
And she's happy because that's what they need. That's what this team has been lacking throughout the season, is that spreading of the floor.
Three-point attempt up top on the other end. What's good for the Goose is good for the Patriot. Here, Walton hits from downtown.
That's always hard to get it right up. And Walton, another one that can knock it down from distance for Vanessa Blair-Lewis.
Walton's got 7 now. The offense has been found for George Mason here in this second quarter. So we get a miss from Carr. In transition, out to Harris. Has it blocked from behind. Phillips coming up with the play, but we get a whistle.
Phillips again, that's her second block. She's been all over the floor.
Oh, and they say last touch by George Mason.
That's incredible. I mean, 2 blocks already from Sophie Phillips. She's using that length. It's really all about timing with blocking.
5-point lead here for the Rams. Vital. To Carr in the high post. And we get a whistle. And it's a 3-second violation.
I thought that might happen. Kamara's down there really working hard, and she's got to make sure she gets in and out of that paint. But I like what they're doing. They're really trying to post her up in there and go inside where they're more successful.
It's a 4th Rhode Island turnover.
Well, so far, pretty clean game.
A little bit of a turnaround here after going 3 of 16. Now 3 of their last 5 from the field. This is Walton. Back for Harris. Launches the 3. In and out. But we get a foul. Vital called for the foul there.
She nearly knocked that down, Alex. Harris, who's been just great. She was a Power 5 recruit for Coach Blair-Lewis. Here you look at what happens here. Nice penetration. And then the closeout, and it's just right in the shooter's space there.
Harris was on the all-rookie team last year in the Atlantic 10, was the player of the week back in late November. just a sophomore from Hampton, Virginia. Misses on the second free throw attempt. Harris is 75% free throw shooter.
She won a state championship out of Hampton High School. Was player of the year as well.
She's had trouble getting going today. Just 1 of 3 from the free throw line. The team's leading scorer has just 1 point so far this afternoon.
That's a nice job. They're really looking to seal off Kamara.
There's Walton inside, got good position, had plenty of room to get that shot up, and got it to go. It's a 2-point game now.
Walton's starting to heat up. And George Mason getting some buckets in transition.
George Mason on a 6-0 run as Phillips drives. And we're going to foul called against George Mason here.
Zahira Walton really doing a nice job here. Just getting up in transition, streaking through the lane, through space, and then she pulls up there, which was really smart. You see Honey is right in the lane, and that's where you need that pull-up game, when you see that length in front of you.
There was some contact, but there was no foul call. They just said lost out of bounds. So staying here with Rhode Island, 10 on the shot clock here. Vital. Inside. Kamara. Got it to go. Boy, she's been excellent so far today.
She is eating up anyone alive in the paint who's covering her. She's been great.
She now has 10. Suarez from downtown. Misses. Ball spins out. A collision going for the rebound. And it's going to be a foul against George Mason. This will be against Kasia. That'll be her second. So Lear Nix will come in and replace Kasia. .6:15 to go here, second quarter. Vital. Working on Suarez. Vital got some room. Left-hand layup is good.
That's a great play. I mean, URI is in attack mode here.
Vital got Suarez looking the other way for just a split second. It was enough of a lapse for her to make a move towards the basket. Harris from long range. Got it.
That's a good job. I mean, and Harris was very patient there. Pretty deep.
First field goal of the game for the George Mason leading scorer. She shoots it at near 40% from out there. Miss from Carr. Rebound, George Mason. We've got a 3-point game here. And a whistle. A blocking foul called against Rhode Island. It's on Vital. That's her second.
Here, Harris does a nice job. You see you hedge and recover there. You've got to maybe switch that if you're Rhode Island, or hang around a little longer, and Harris was able to find that window. She doesn't need much time. Averages, you said it, 15 points per game. Finally gets on the board. She's a 36% three-point shooter, so you got to really be in her face.
Suarez calling for a screen here. Nix sets it. Here comes Suarez on the drive. Kick out to Harris. Double team her. Back out to Suarez. Good rotation there. Oh, bad on the handle. As Nix grabbed it, she let it slip out of her hand, go off her knee and out of play, and it goes out of bounds to Rhode Island. We'll step aside here in Rhode Island. George Mason starting to make it interesting after a rough first quarter. They trail Rhode Island by 3 on the road.
Well, Geico's 85 years isn't just about time, you know. It means experience. I mean, put it this way. If I told you I'd been jarring raspberry preserves for 85 years, what would you think? Well, at first, you'd be like, that has got to be some scrumptious jam. And then you'd think, he looks fantastic. I must know his skincare routine.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Beg your pardon.
Different dogs have different needs, like skin and coat, mobility support, and healthy digestion. That's why Ein's Advanced Health has different formulas, so every dog can be a healthy dog.
Thanks. What'd you get? Oh, I got another double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double hot, double calf, double sleeve. Hey, did you know that Discover doubles your cash back at the end of the first year?
You are cut off.
You earn, we match.
Debbie.
Unlimited cashback match.
Old Trapper Beefs. Energy emergency. Old Trapper. What's your beef?
Don't worry.
You can't predict sick days. But with Kleenex, you can be prepared for them. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
If your family's anything like mine, every day brings in dirt and messes. Sit back, relax, and leave the deep cleaning to the pros.
You make it through security so fast, the agents applaud. Your travel itineraries are so well written, they're on the bestseller list. And you have access to lounges that don't officially exist. That's why you rent with National, where you can skip the counter and choose any vehicle on the Emerald Isle. Because travel isn't a competition, except that it is. And you're winning.
4:57 remaining until we get to halftime. Rhode Island with a 3-point edge on George Mason at the moment. A-10 women's basketball here on CBS Sports Network. And take a look, what a difference the quarters make.
It really is a difference, and you look at that in the first quarter, 3 of 16 for George Mason. They really could not shoot worth a lick. And then the second quarter, 5 of 8. They've been tremendously, working on their game offensively. Rhode Island, on the other side, hasn't taken as many shots in the second quarter, but they've still been efficient. So George Mason's done a good job responding and closing this gap in the second quarter. That was very important because their first quarter was not good for their standards offensively.
Rhode Island coming in at 7-9, but they started the season 4-8. They've gone 3-1 since, 2-1 in A-10 play. George Mason an 11-1 start. They're now 12-3 and 2-2 in the A-10. As teams starting to assert themselves in conference play. And we get a violation for a travel called here against Rhode Island. It goes back to the Patriots here. George Mason down 3. This is Walton trying to make a move. Strong move to the basket. Ball hung up on the rim. Looked like it was going to drop there for a second. It ends up falling out, but free throws coming up here for Zahira Walton.
But what we've seen is that George Mason has done a great job attacking in the second quarter and now into the final few minutes here. That's the way that you get back into games. Attack, get to the rim. And they were the ones being attacked in the first quarter.
Walton, a 72% free throw shooter. Please join CBS in helping those affected by the California wildfires. Your donation enables the Red Cross to provide shelter, meals, and relief items to help people recover from these disasters. Donate today by going to redcross.org/CBS, calling 1-800-RED-CROSS, or text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Walton good from the free throw line. She now has 11.
The returning rookie of the year.
1-point game now, not anymore, as Carr hits the baseline, Jay. And you were talking about her versatility. That's another aspect of her game, that short jumper there.
Yeah, that's what she has to do. I mean, she came in to replace, remember, Tena Magassa and Maya Torre, 2 players that were very good on this Rhode Island team, and she has really been doing whatever she possibly can to replace those scoring minutes.
Walton scores again. She now has 13. It's a 1-point game. And we get another 3-second violation. This is the second 3-second violation called against Rhode Island. For a violation you don't see called very much these days.
You don't.
You got 2 in the 1 quarter.
They're really looking to push it into the paint, and that's why. And they've just got to really know, hey, I got to get in and out, because they're calling it.
Suarez drawing some contact. Looked like there was a block in there as well, but I think the shot to the body was the foul that was called. As Suarez will now go to the free throw line, where she's a 75% free throw shooter.
Suarez has done a really good job getting to the rim, and that's what's been the game plan here. You can tell from Vanessa Blair-Lewis, like, listen, we've got to get to the free throw line. Now, they've missed some in this game, which they're about a 69% free throw shooting team in general, but that's what they've had to do and what they've found some success in.
Suarez goes 1 of 2 from the line. George Mason now 5 of 11 from the free throw line so far this afternoon. So the Patriots on an 8-2 run, and we're all tied up at 25. Carr might have gotten away with a travel there. Drive, trying to dish off. Here's a takeaway. George Mason can take the lead here. This is Walton. Launches. Got it to go! George Mason with their first lead of the game. Timeout, Rhode Island.
And so much of that has been from Walton. And on her shoulders, she has been great the last few possessions, putting points up on the board.
George Mason up by 3. 16 points now for Walton as the Patriots up.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? It's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back here in Rhode Island, where George Mason on a 6-0 run over the last minute made their last 3 shots and now taken a 28-25 lead. And Zahira Walton over the second quarter, Julianne, has been tremendous. She now has 16 on the game. She's been the really one lone bright spot offensively for George Mason in this game.
Yeah, when we talked to Vanessa Blair-Lewis about her before the game, she was talking about how last year she played the backup 5. This year, she's facing the basket and she's playing her position more, which is more of a 3, a face-up guard position. And think about that. She was Rookie of the Year playing out of position. Now she's playing in position, and she's even better.
And now Kennedy Harris getting a shot to go. She's the team's leading scorer. It's now an 8-0 run here for the Patriots. Pass inside, and Carr ends that 8-0 run.
And a much-needed bucket from Carr, and they've got to continue to get it to her in the paint.
She's now in double figures with 10. 3-point lead for George Mason. Walton, again, what an aggressive drive there. She's really starting to feel it.
You can tell she's in that takeover mode, like my team needs me. She's playing her style, and she's remained very poised.
She averages 12. She has 18 in this first half. Top inside.
That was good one-on-one defense right there. Very good communication from George Mason.
Right corner jumper for the 3 is off the mark from Lewis Volker. Kumara, turnaround in the lane. A rare miss from her. We're at 1:14 to go in this first half. Rhode Island only has 2 points in the last 3 minutes and change. On the drive, Suarez forcing another Rhode Island timeout. 12-2 run for George Mason over the last 3 minutes.
And they've really cleaned up their defense. You can tell George Mason is on the balls of their feet. They're really defending at a high level these last few minutes, these last few possessions especially. And you've got to know when you play Rhode Island is bound to go into a drought of some sort throughout their game. They've struggled to score throughout the season. And Rhode Island's got to really continue to stick with it and try to continue to attack and get shots around the rim.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover will be in our New York studios, has a feature with Rhode Island head coach Tammy Reese, and looks ahead to the rest of today's matchups. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Alex Savaria, Julian Deani-Brain, and our entire CBS crew, glad to have you with us here on CBS Sports Network. First of 3 women's games this afternoon.
A busy Sunday fun day.
Absolutely. 2 in the Atlantic 10, 1 in the Mountain West, coming up late. George Mason, by the way, 10 of 14 from the field in the second quarter. And when you look at the way they were shooting the basketball in that first quarter, you're like, how did that happen?
You know, a team that averages 70-something points is bound to get hot eventually.
We had a player take over, and Walton, what a play there. DeBraz. Rhode Island needed that in a big way to stop the bleeding a bit.
Yeah, DeBraz is pure energy, Coach Reese calls her, but this is the way to put your head down and get to the basket. And that's what she does. She really gives that infusion, that firecracker spirit as a point guard. And I really like watching her out there. I mean, a little bit different from some of the other guards like Vital, who's more maybe of a true point guard, and you've got DeBraz who adds that energy.
Suarez was the one who was called for the personal foul. It was her first. 40 seconds to go here in the half. Walton.
This is like a 2-3 zone here from Rhode Island. Switching it up here.
Not a lot of movement here from George Mason. 5 on the shot clock. Suarez out to Walton. Thought about the 3. Takes a couple dribbles in. Little runner. Got it to go just before the horn. Comes up empty. Offensive rebound. The putback is good. Volker got it to go. 7 seconds remaining here in the period. Bringing it to the other side. DeBraz called for the travel with 0.3 of a second to go. And DeBraz saying to the official, hey, she pushed me.
Yeah, I thought she might have gotten bumped as well. DeBraz is so quick. She gets it up the floor in an instant.
Not quite enough time to wind up for a shot for George Mason offensively. They've pulled even basically with Rhode Island in terms of field goals. George Mason 14 of 32 from the field. Rhode Island 14 of 33 from the field. And it's Mason with a 6-point advantage right now as we start this second half. Rhode Island with the basketball first in the white uniform tops, and George Mason in the black. All right, Julian, what do you want to see from both these teams adjustment-wise coming out for the second half?
I think Rhode Island has to get back to what they did in the first quarter and continue to be assertive and attack just like that. I think attacking the rim, being the attackers offensively, for them, they've got to score. They struggle to score. They cannot go into any droughts the way that they did in that second quarter. They went into some droughts. That affects them. George Mason has a lot of great offense. They've got to get everybody involved. Of course, Walton, we saw, did a great job. Suarez was doing things. They've got to get some other people some offensive firepower too.
Well, they started off the first quarter with a car bucket. They started off this third quarter with a car bucket. And pulled to within 4 here. George Mason to a 2-2 start in league play.
Right now, the average of the 2 scores here is favoring Rhode Island, where the game would be in the 60s. That's below average for Vanessa Blair-Lewis's squad.
Vital has it blocked there as Walton comes up with a nice defensive play. Walton with 18 points in that first half. You see this start this season.
And they only allow 57 a game, so they're no slouch on the defensive end either. We're talking a lot about Rhode Island's defense.
Here's Carr inside. Nice move. Can't finish. Offensive rebound, though, and that's blocked underneath. Kick it back out. 3-point attempt is good. Sophie Phillips. That was just her second 3-point attempt the game. Finally connected on one. She's the team's all-time leader in three-point field goals.
And she was being face guarded the other day, and I was curious to see how she'd be defended here today. And they haven't face guarded her, but they've made it hard on her to get opportunities.
They haven't called her name much, and plenty of physicality down low there. And Kasia finally able to draw some contact to head to the free throw line here.
I see Sophie Phillips here. That's off the offensive rebound. They've got to continue to find her. She relocates, knocks it down. She doesn't need much time or much of a window to make shots. She really struggled in the beginning of the season shooting-wise, and then she got her mojo back, Tammy Reese told us. And she's been shooting it well from out there when she gets the opportunity.
Foul, by the way, on Hersimer and Honey Carr. Her second foul as Kasia misses her first from the free throw line. Kasia's struggling to get going here offensively, just 1 point.
But what a story from her. I mean, she hasn't even been playing Division I basketball very long. She's a transfer from UNC Charlotte, where she was a D1 volleyball player for 3 years, an all-state selection there. She has literally been playing college basketball for just 2 years, D1 college basketball. She played in high school, but it's a crazy story.
And something you can relate to as well. She's also had a child in between these last 2 seasons, and that's very tough to come back from and get ready to play for a season.
I can't imagine. I mean, me too, just a couple months ago.
I mean, here you are broadcasting a couple of months ago, right?
It's a little easier to sit here than
talk about it.
Run up there, run up and down the court.
So you're saying you can't give us 10 minutes right now?
Maybe I can give you 10, actually. 10? I'm back on that treadmill there, Alex.
There you go. Under 8 minutes to go, third quarter. Oh, what a shot. Kennedy Harris off balance, able to get it to go. 2-point lead for Mason. Carr has her shot blocked. Kick out, they'll repost. Carr, turn around this time, trying to go off the glass. No good. Offensive rebound, Kumara. Back out, top of the key, Vital for three. No. Rebound, Kennedy Harris. In transition, here comes Walton, little hezzy. Bounce pass, down low, toss it up, off the window and in. That's Volker.
A nice pass, though, a heady play from Walton. And Volker getting in the mix.
Her second bucket, she's got 4.
And what Coach Blair Lewis likes about her is that nothing really falls off when she comes in the game.
Carr. And whistle, and we get an offensive foul.
And Lewis Volker here. Good position. You see the double team. That helps side defense just a little bit too late from URI. And a nice heads-up play and finish.
That foul was on Kumara. That was her second. Harris. Walton thought about it. Harris with a little crossover, pull up from 19, got it.
That's a nice shot from Harris. Pretty shot. Creates that space with the dribble.
She's at 10 now. After a really rough first quarter, finally starting to find her game offensively here in this one against Rhode Island.
Well, she's a competitor, so you know you're gonna get it from Harris whenever she's able to turn it on. But see how she creates that space? I mean, she literally crosses up Vital with her dribble.
Utah inside the Carr. We get a foul before the shot. Foul's going to be against Volker. That'll be her first foul. Trying to pass it over to Phillips in the corner. And it's deflected out of play, and that's now where Rhode Island will have to inbound from, is on that sideline just in front of their bench. Rhode Island a couple of years removed from a A-10 regular season title and a 3-round run in the WNIT.
But what Tammy Reese has done with this program has been remarkable. A team that hadn't won much prior to her getting the position.
Swinging around to Phillips. She'll drive it in. A little too strong off the glass. Phillips left open for the three. Short that time.
You see Dutot really hunting down those offensive rebounds.
3-point attempt. Harris got it to go. Kennedy Harris from downtown.
This is where George Mason can really kill you if you're Rhode Island, because Rhode Island doesn't have too much shooting. They've got Phillips, that's about it. They've got some other people that can knock them down, but George Mason can really pull away if they start to make threes.
Harris now with 13. What a drive! Count the basket and the foul. And the energy in this building is starting to pick up, especially from both team benches. Take another look.
Yeah, this is a great job just getting to the rim again. DeBras, who's just been full of energy, has no problem, no trouble getting her feet off the ground there. She's got a quick first step. I think that a lot of teams struggle to cover her laterally.
DeBras coming off a 13-point game against Davidson the last time out.
She can go 0 to 100 in a minute. Just a real dynamo.
She's got 6 points now. She goes 2 of 2 from the foul line. George Mason has made their last 4 shot attempts.
But Rhode Island is hung in there.
Harris lines up for another. That's a heat check. Kennedy Harris again from the outside. Increases the lead up to 9. They've made their last 5 from the field. Has George Mason. Harris now is 16.
A ton of this 12-3 run is Ben Harris. She's heating up.
Inside, tough defense. Knocked away. Here come the Patriots.
When Harris is able to knock those shots down, it really allows George Mason to play with more space on the floor. They can get it in once you get some shots going down.
Harris lines up for another one. Too strong that time. Offensive rebound. Perfect position. Walton was there for another putback.
That's the way that you attack the glass. Get the extra possession.
She's got 20. Ball loose on the floor. And we get a whistle. Timeout taken. That'll be George Mason ball.
And Kennedy Harris, she's starting to light it up. She's feeling it. Little heat check right here. She's the reason they're on this big run.
I've travelled all over the country talking about saving with Geico. But that's the important bit, isn't it? Showing up, saying, hello, fancy a nice chat. And then we talk like 2 old friends about sticky buns and all the savings you could get by bundling your home and car insurance. But here's the real secret. Eye contact. Do you feel that? We just had a moment. Who'd have thought it?
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking about our honeymoon. What about Africa? Safari. Hot air balloon ride. Swim with elephants. Wait, can we afford a safari?
Great question. Like everything, takes a little planning.
Or put the money towards a down payment?
On a ranch?
In Montana?
With horses.
Let's take a look at those scenarios.
JP Morgan Wealth Management has advisors in Chase branches and tools like Wealth Plan to help keep you on track. When you're planning for it all, the answer is JP Morgan Wealth Management.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone, and you'll get iPhone 16 with Apple Intelligence on us. Now with Genmoji. That's a value of up to $1,600. Only on Verizon.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. Dak going for it, and he fumbles. Brilliant recovery with the Lowe's app.
He always delivers.
And so does the Lowe's app. In-store, online, our Lowe's team has you covered.
At Bombas, we make the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. So comfortable, you'll wish you had more. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
Thanks for getting these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Well, Kennedy Harris has had herself a game, especially here in the second half. She's really finding her rhythm. She's 3 of 4 from 3, and she's 6 of 11 from the floor. I mean, she's just been more aggressive here, and this could really be a game changer. Her ability to knock that 3-ball down can change the game, and I think it's going to separate them if they can continue to get her the basketball. But this quarter alone, 10 points, 4 or 5 from the floor, very efficient. She kind of started the game a little bit slow, but since then, her team is really lit up.
I mean, everybody did. I mean, they started 3 of 16 from the field. They're 17 of 26 since. It's 65% since that awful start in that first quarter. She herself started 0 for 3 from the field. Since then, 6 of 8. And, you know, Kennedy Harris, we're expecting quite a bit from her. The team's leading scorer at 15.5 per game. Already at 16 here in this third quarter. And this George Mason team showing why they're a team to be reckoned with in the A-10 this year.
Now, they've got a lot of weapons, and they go pretty deep, so Vanessa Blair-Lewis can really turn to a lot of people on the bench.
Speaking of Harris, the ball knocked out of here. Julianne still got her hands.
Always ready. Always got to be ready. I almost shot.
Looking to I don't know if you were looking to pass or shoot. You were in the triple threat position there.
I was ready to shoot there.
Volker from long range banks it in.
Wow, the bank is open. Doesn't have to be pretty, right?
Does not. Counts the same. It's a 12-point lead. It's the largest of the day for George Mason.
This could get really ugly here for Rhode Island. They've got to stop the bleeding, and they need to score.
Mbu got kind of caught up underneath the basket, didn't get a good shot up in the air. We get a whistle and some physicality coming down the floor here.
We haven't gotten to see Carr get too many touches in the second half either, so George Mason's really locked her down.
Mbu called for the foul, her second.
You know, it's been frustrating for Tammy Reese's team is that teams have been really honing in on Phillips and Carr, and other people haven't always stepped it up. Now, today we've seen Camaro really do a number on George Mason.
Harris drawing contact, and she's headed to the line. George Mason on an 8-0 run of the last 2.5 minutes.
And a lot of it is because of this young woman, Kennedy Harris. I mean, that's what happens, folks. You knock some shots down from the perimeter, you're going to get some ability to drive the lane as well. It really just opens your whole game up. Teams and players have to defend you honestly because they don't know what you're going to be able to do because you're such a threat from anywhere.
Ayanna Franks was called for the foul, her second. And we talked about Camaro's had herself a nice game. It's kind of cooled off a bit so far in the second half. I haven't called her name much.
And like I was saying, Rhode Island can't afford to get down in a hole because they don't have the best scoring. So if they get into a hole here and this creeps to 20 points, that's a huge, huge mountain for them to climb.
To think of where we were in the first quarter to where we are now, it's very surprising. George Mason now up 16. It's their largest of the day. Phillips coming off the screen, got it to go. Sophie Phillips from downtown, that's her second made three. And I would say even from the early get-go when they had the lead, they weren't finding ways to get her shots, and they need to find ways to get her more touches.
They do. I mean, those quick hitters, that's a quick hitter right there. She's coming off the screen. She's got a quick release. They've got to get her some shots from the perimeter. She's the only floor spacer they have.
Volker in the corner, misses the three. Rebound, Rhode Island. DeBras to Phillips. Entry pass, nice feed in there. What a rejection. Zahira Walton with a swat.
Incredible. I mean, that defense is just relentless. She's super athletic. Listen, she's full behind on this play. This is the right pass.
And they say last touch Rhode Island. It's George Mason. Here they come in the front court. Walton looking to score on this end. And offensive rebound and a putback is off the mark. But free throws coming up here from Neku Mitchell. Fouls on Franks. It's her third. Neku Mitchell, junior from Baltimore. It's the team's leader in field goal percentage entering the game today. Hits from the free throw line. Her first 2 points of the game coming from the stripe there. Trying to get it into Carr, and she gets fouled on the entry pass. And it's going to be on Suarez, it looks like. That's 3 now on Suarez. So she'll come out as Habib will come back in. Oh, nice flash to the block there from Carr. It was wide open.
Yeah, wide open. That's what we call a belly cut. You can't allow a belly cut in the lane. It means they just cut across your belly. You got to cut it off, but good look.
Carr now with 14 on the day for Rhode Island. 90 seconds to go in the period.
And this is just a simple flex play. I mean, you got to either switch that or beat the player to it, but a good play from Rhode Island, and you got to finish it. And we just talked about Carr needing to get back into it.
Harris with 10 on the shot clock. Trying to be physical with her. Leave it back, Habib. Up top, Mitchell. Mitchell, off balance shot, did hit the rim. Offensive rebound, off the mark. But a foul is called, and free throws coming up here for the Patriots, and that's got to be frustrating for Tammy Reese. I thought they played pretty well defensively on that possession.
Yeah, they did. They played really hard, and that can always be frustrating when you play so hard and you almost get it, and then you foul.
Coming up tomorrow, head out to the hardwood for a men's college hoops doubleheader starting at 7 Eastern as Loyola Maryland hosts American in a Patriot League matchup. That's followed by Campbell squaring off against Elon. That's at 9. It's all right here on CBS Sports Network. Alex Sabario, Julianne Vianney-Brain, our entire CBS crew here for this first game of our women's basketball tripleheader on CBS Sports Network. George Mason out to a 59-45 lead here on Rhode Island. And that's out of bounds. Rhode Island back to George Mason. We're starting to see things develop in the Atlantic 10 now. Who are the haves? Who are the have-nots? Who are the contenders? And who might have a shot to knock a team off in the conference tournament as well?
I mean, once you get to middle to end of January, you're right, you start to see some teams pull away a little bit.
You see your surprises, too.
Right.
Walton. 8 on the shot clock here. Suarez trying to get some room. 3 on the shot clock's got to get a shot up in the air. Throw one up. Looked like they're playing knockout there as Volker goes up with it. Feet in the air. Couldn't get it to go. Shot clock is off. Rhode Island will get to play for the last shot. Carr getting ready to set the screen here. DeBras up top, left side. Phillips launches, misses the three. Kennedy Harris. George Mason will have an opportunity. Harris lets it fly at the horn. It's short. And that'll do it. 3 quarters in the books. 30 minutes gone by here in Rhode Island.
Over the years, and I feel like she's just continued to get better and better. And this St. Joe's team, to me, they could win it too. I mean, they're a top team in the league.
You know, we've talked quite a bit about Davidson, Richmond, George Mason, but you're right, St. Joseph should be a team that everyone needs to be talking about in the Atlantic.
Yeah, and they just play that gritty style. It's just like true basketball. They defend well. They've got a lot of offensive firepower this year.
On the drive, a miss there from Walton. And we get a jump ball after the rebound here. Possession arrow is going to keep it on this end of the floor. George Mason at 12-3, got off to a program best start at 11-1. Ranked 45 in the net ranking. And in some of the brackets that are out there already, those preliminary bracketologists have them as one of the last 4 out at the moment, but a lot of folks thinking that the way it could break down.
I know it's hard too. You play in the league. You beat each other up. I mean, you know each other's personnel so well. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's happening.
Suarez with a fall away there. George Mason, take a look. 11-1 when scoring 61 or more. Just 1-2 when they score fewer than 61 points.
And that is their norm. And they were really able to pick up the offense as the game progressed. Struggled in that first quarter. But the second half, they've been able to pull away.
We were thinking, well, where are they going to find that offense? As Carr hits from downtown. Carr now with 17 on the day.
And that's what they need out of Carr. She's trying to do whatever she can. And Kamara's got to get herself going as well here. And Tammy Reese told me a lot of it would be how their guards, too, are able to shoot.
Suarez, strong move to the bucket, and a foul is called. It's going to be against Kumara.
And Carr, who I said was kind of quiet for a while, and she's got a lot of time to take this shot, knocks it down. And I've mentioned she's been double-teamed a lot throughout the season so far, and it's been frustrating for her because they need her to score. And they've needed some other players to step it up, and that's been their Achilles heel this year, is getting offense from other people.
Kamara called for the foul. That is her third for Rhode Island. Suarez makes good on the first attempt from the stripe.
Suarez has done a nice job getting to the rim, to the free throw line.
Yep. 12 points for her. She misses. 4 rebounds, 4 assists also on the day for Suarez. Dutat trying to pass it out and is stolen away by Suarez. That is the 13th turnover for Rhode Island. And George Mason, a very good team when it comes to assist to turnover ratio.
Mason's got 14 points off turnovers here.
George Mason did not turn it over at all in the second or third quarters. They've only turned it over 3 times on the day.
That's huge.
Suarez got it to go.
Suarez, I like her game. She's just got amazing vision and composure. She just doesn't let the game go faster. It doesn't move too quick for her.
Carr, bit of a runner, comes up empty. We talked about the turnover situation with George Mason, again, not committing one in the second and third. They only have 3. They're 9th in Division I in turnovers per game, and fewest turnovers per game, just 11.7. So far this half, you can see what they've done. They've made 9 field goals, haven't turned it over once. Harris, 5 on the shot clock. They got to hurry. Walton, 2 on the shot clock. Got to get rid of it. She's not going to have time. She banked one in. She looked over to the bench. And Vanessa Blair-Lewis is like, you can see the clock?
Yeah, it's important to know, right? The shot clock, and you got to also have your teammates telling you what's up from the bench.
Well, we told you they hadn't turned it over yet. Well, that's a turnover on the shot clock violation. We'll step aside. George Mason up 14 here on Rhode Island.
Huh? Oh, that's very,
Right?
This store doesn't have agent force, so an AI agent didn't tip off the stylist as to what I might actually wear.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a commitment. Hey, bud, what do you think?
You know, people can see you out here.
Yeah, right. Love you too.
Agent Force helps retailers prevent fashion fails. It's what AI was meant to be.
Red Bull gives you wings.
At Bombas, we dream of comfort and softness, which is why we make the best socks and slippers in the history of feet. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
And so, babe, it's done. I
just sold my car to Carvana.
I just entered my license plate and I
answered a few questions. Bam!
I'm dropping it off and getting paid today.
How convenient is that?
Thanks for choosing Carvana.
Sell your car today and get paid the same day with Carvana.
Hey, my treat today.
I don't think they'll take that here.
Of course they take Discover. You're stuck in the past. Unlike me.
You look rad.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
And now we meet the new Reese's Big Cup with chocolate lava, which obviously comes from the Reese's volcano that flows with ooey gooey melty chocolate lava.
I'm no geologist, but that looks pretty darn good.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know, to check your school's saying first before saying it.
High tide. High tide, guys. High tide. High tide. High tide. High tide.
It's roll tide.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Back here in Rhode Island, George Mason looking for their third win in A-10 play. Up 64-50 on Rhode Island. What a second half they've had. Really, what a run since the first quarter. They only scored 7 points in that first quarter. 29-23. They've already got 5 here in this fourth quarter. Rhode Island on a scoring drought of a little over 2 minutes here. And George Mason kind of showing why they're a force to be reckoned with in the Atlantic 10 this year.
What's been hard for Rhode Island, too, is they've turned the ball over a lot, and George Mason has capitalized off of that. And they've got 16 points off of the 13 turnovers from Rhode Island. So I think the second half, they haven't taken care of the ball as well. George Mason, on the other hand, has taken care of the ball, and they've gotten the shots that they've wanted.
George Mason in the top 30 in assist-to-turnover ratio in the country. Second in the Atlantic 10. They haven't turned it over much. That was a shot clock violation, by the way, just before the break, which was just the 4th turnover of the game for the Patriots. Suarez finds some room, gets to the rim on the left side. Suarez now with 16 points.
Suarez has really done a nice job just finding her rhythm.
$16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Suarez. We have 6 minutes remaining. there as DeBras went for a jump stop and a shot. Foul's going to be on Harris. It's just her first foul.
I'm curious to see Rhode Island's response here this quarter. I mean, they've got to continue to attack, and it's good to see DeBras at the line.
Inez DeBras.
And Tammy Reese has been trying to get her team, her players to just embrace their roles and get the new chemistry. Like I said, they lost 4 starters, a lot of production this year, new faces. They're playing a pretty experienced squad here in George Mason.
Some pressure in the backcourt here. Under 6 minutes. Suarez lines up for the 3. Missed it short. And the rebound, DeBras. DeBras floats a pass in the car. The double comes back out. Nice pass. Get it to the right block. Nobody there to guard Kamara.
But that's where you see Carr making the right read. She's being doubled. She's got 2 players on her, and then you're going to be open if she can find you, and that's a good pass.
Kamara with 12.
And Kamara got a little quiet in the second half, but she's had a good game.
That's her first field goal of this second half. And we got a traveling violation.
And this is where Rhode Island's got to get stops, and that's an important stop right there. And a really great job here. Nice post-entry play. You see the triple team, and a great look from Carr underneath to Kamara with the finish.
$5K fun run.
Say hi to Patty, celebrated social worker.
Who's coming in second?
Self-appointed social chair. Potluck, kickball, last call.
Sign up for Goat Yoga.
You name it, she's on it. And you have 47 emails to prove it. But her capacity to care is unmatched. You need Patty. Patty needs a retirement plan. Work with Principal so we can help you help Patty with a retirement and benefits plan that's right for her.
Good night, guys.
Let our expertise round out yours.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions to give you peace of mind. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Visit healthcare.gov to explore plans from the brands you know. New law, lower prices. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline January 15th.
NetCredit is here to say yes, even when other lenders won't. Apply online in minutes and get funds deposited the next business day or sooner. NetCredit. Credit to the people.
Check out this new life insurance policy I scored with Ethos.
How many weeks did it take you to get a policy like that?
With Ethos, try 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Yeah, just go to ethos.com and protect your family's future. The best part is there's no medical exams.
Check your price today at ethos.com.
Eva, if you had to choose, herding cats or shopping for benefits?
Definitely benefits. Gusto helps me wrangle health insurance, 401k, workers' comp, and more for my team.
Is she supposed to be up there?
Fifi.
Benefits and payroll work better with Gusto.
What is Circle? Circle is the fuel you need to take flight. With 0 calories and no sugar, dial up your electrolytes when it's game point. Circle, available at Walmart and drinkcircle.com.
At Grainger, we know dealing with the unexpected is part of your job description. And you made a promise to keep the line running, to power through the downpour, to be the one who always gets it done. And our promise is to help you do it with professional-grade supplies for every industry, plus same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. Because you can't predict the future, but with the right partner, you can be prepared for it. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Under 5 minutes to go here in Rhode Island. George Mason up by 12 on the Rams. Time to get more with the Geico play of the game. Let's get back to the third quarter, and Kennedy Harris has had herself a great game. Big three-pointer that started a 10-0 run that really built the separation here.
Yeah, this step-back shot really started that run. I mean, that was just a big shot from her, and she had a tremendous third quarter. I mean, this really gave them that 16-point lead. I mean, that was very key. 16 points from Kennedy Harris, and they really needed it. 3 of 5 from 3. She was the one that was just the force spacer for them, and that really helped them make that separation. And Rhode Island has had a hard time coming back from that third quarter woe, and they're trying here though. They're not backing down.
No, they're not. They've actually outscored George Mason here in this fourth quarter, 9-7. They've actually forced a couple turnovers after George Mason hadn't turned the ball over the entire second half for a long stretch.
There's still time left. Can they score? Can they get some stops and some scores?
You need to find a way, I think, to get Sophie Phillips the basketball.
Because the 3 ball is what can separate you and really allow you to pull away and to get closer. And that's a big one.
DeBras doesn't shoot it well from out there, just 28%, but they'll take it any way they can get it. They're on a 7-0 run now.
That was huge.
They've cut it down to 9.
Huge confidence booster for Rhode Island there.
DeBras now with 11. Harris. 7 on the shot clock. Walton lines up for it, left of the circle, off the mark. Carr goes for the rebound, and a foul is called. It's going to be against Walton. That's going to be her third. And you're starting to see some similarities to the way George Mason is playing now to the way they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good job. See, this is where you saw Harris diving down. She was looking to help that opposite side because nobody's knocked down threes. And that's where that 3 was so big from DeBras, because she made them pay for that. And teams have been able to pack it in on Rhode Island throughout the season.
And working inside, Kamara trims it down. It's a 9-0 run now for the Rhode Island Rams. 3.5. 7-point game.
This is where George Mason has to play the way they've been playing. You don't want to play not to lose here because of this run from Rhode Island.
Walton driving it. And we're going to have a foul called against Rhode Island. There's some fans behind us that thought it should have been an offensive foul. Vital called for the foul. That'll be her third.
And you see here, she was still moving. That's the right call. That's Vital.
Vital, 7 points, 6 assists on the day. A fresh 20 here for George Mason. Double up on Harris, very up high. Trying to come up with a steal. Ball's loose on the floor, and we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to give it back to the Rams.
That's a good double team from URI. Now, in that situation, George Mason's got to find, they got to send players. They got to get in passing lanes.
Right after that turnover with the jump ball, the George Mason players, all 5 of them huddled up in the middle of the floor to kind of refocus there.
And they need to refocus here because Rhode Island
takes it in. Count the basket of the foul. Just found a seam down that right side. Fans are getting up for it, and they can feel this comeback happening.
Rhode Island's got all the momentum here. And Vital, who was just, see the little hezzy right there? Changes her speed, and then she bursts to the basket.
And the foul is on Zahira Walton. That is her 4th foul. They cannot have her foul out of this game. Vital rattles in the free throw. And it is a 4-point game.
A lot of guts with her play here in the 4th.
And here comes the trap. half court. Suarez able to pass out of it. So we approach 2.5 to play. Suarez. In on Carr. Carr blocks it. Got it back.
What a play. Rhode Island has done what they do best. They're defending, they're getting stops, but they're scoring with those stops.
DeBras. And a big bucket earlier up to Carr. Carr on the drive. Strong move, has it blocked. Volker with the rejection, but it stays on this end of the floor with the Rams. 2:05 to play.
Huge play from Volker, though, defensively to get that block, because that could have been a Carr layup.
DeBras gets it into Kamara. Vital left open on the block. There's Carr, a little jump hook, can't get it to go.
And she was a hair late with that pass.
Thought Carr rushed the shot a little bit, too. Harris. Kick out. Walton. 12 on the shot clock as we approach 90 seconds to play. Walton doubled. To Suarez. Take away there. Drawing another foul. DeBras with the takeaway and the take to the bucket. She's got free throws.
A lot of standing around from George Mason offensively. They are playing not to lose. They're not moving a lot offensively, and because of that, Rhode Island is picking them apart defensively. A nice job there, anticipating, and DeBras, who's so tough, just gets herself to the other end. You just see the fierce competitive nature in her. She just likes to run. She likes to get out there and get the energy pushing in transition. All of that starts on the defensive end for her.
Rhode Island is on a 12-0 run. They've trailed by as many as 16 here in this fourth quarter. As DeBras goes to the free throw line here. A 79% free throw shooter on the season.
And some nerves there.
See a shot of Tammy Reese in her 6th year in Rhode Island. Now 100 wins with this program. DeBras, second free throw is good. We've got ourselves a 3-point game. A 13-0 run. There's a takeaway. DeBras got it. To Sophie Phillips. Back to DeBras. A minute 20 to play.
What incredible play from DeBras here.
DeBras with some big plays here, especially on the defensive end. DeBras shaking her defender, takes it in with the kick out. Vital for 3. Short. Carr, offensive rebound. The putback off the window. No!
Wow.
What a stretch there for Rhode Island.
That was a possession you need to finish. You needed to finish one of those buckets. And that was an excellent job getting the old board, trying to get the putbacks, but they just could not put one in.
George Mason gasping for air right now as Rhode Island puts the pressure on. Mason up by 3, less than a minute to go. Stay with us.
What I gotta fix? If I'm not broken,
Oh, come
what I
on.
gotta fix? What I gotta fix? What I gotta
You break it, we take it. At Verizon, anyone can trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed, and get Samsung Galaxy S24 for everyone in the family. Only on Verizon.
.59 10 to play here. George Mason with a 66-63 lead on Rhode Island. It's been a 13-0 run since it was 66-50. George Mason hasn't scored in 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long time to go scoreless, and so much of this was from DeBras. I mean, her ability to get to the rim, and Vital attack mode. It came down to a couple of these guards that were really in attack mode. that have really brought them closer to a potential win here.
And you were saying for a stretch there that George Mason looked like they were playing not to lose.
Yes, they were playing not to lose in a sense. I mean, just dribbling the shot clock down and not in attack mode the way that they were prior. And they've got 4 turnovers here, and a lot of that is because Rhode Island stepped up their defensive intensity. Prior to that, just 4 the whole game.
They didn't have any turnovers that entire second and third quarters. George Mason with the basketball here in 59.2, and they're going to have to take a timeout as Rhode Island's defense has really picked it up here. We'll step aside. Back in a moment here in Rhode Island.
Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who does everything for you. Who can do your taxes in a day. So you can get up to $4,000 instantly. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
We're in the middle of a tremendous comeback by Rhode Island, down by 16 points. Just a few moments ago at the 6:23 mark, but they've rattled off 13 straight over the last 5 minutes. Looking for another stop here on George Mason as they trail by 3 here at home. Suarez with 10 on the shot clock. Mason taking their time. Suarez on the take. Finds some room. Off balance shot. Carr with the rebound.
And another awesome defensive possession from Rhode Island. And not a good offense in terms of execution from George Mason.
Rhode Island takes a timeout. We'll step aside. 35.3 to go.
When the temperature drops, you've got 2 choices. Close your eyes and think warm thoughts, or open your eyes and get out here. There's only one vehicle lineup that embraces everything the cold has to offer. The official vehicles of winter. Jeep, there's only one.
Right now, during the Jeep Start Something New sales event, get $7,500 total bonus cash allowance on 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland and Summit models. See your local Jeep brand dealer today.
3-point lead for George Mason, but they've seen a 16-point lead slip away with 38 and 3/10 seconds to go. Rhode Island has possession here to potentially tie the game with a 3 or pull to within 1 with the bucket. Alex Sabario, Julianne Vianney-Brain, our entire CBS crew. What a comeback here from Rhode Island here in the 4th.
Yeah, I mean, a tremendous comeback. And you've got to just give Rhode Island so much credit for what they were able to do in the 4th quarter. And they got back to what they do, their style, and that's defend. I think they allowed George Mason to score in the 3rd quarter, and that was a big problem for them. But not only did they defend in the 4th quarter and play gritty on that end, they were able to score. And that's been the problem. When you talk to Tammy Reese and you talk to this team, I mean, they only had 55 points against Davidson on Wednesday. Scoring's been a problem for them at times. So the fact that they've got a lot of people involved, they got Carr the basketball, Phillips hit some shots, and the 2 guards have really stepped it up here in Vital and Dubras. I think those 2 have really set the tone for Rhode Island to come back here in the 4th.
They're double checking on the shot clock. Right now it's 38.3. Now they have it at 37.4 with 29 seconds on the shot clock, because what happened was Carr had the ball, they had it for a second, and then a timeout was called then. So take a look here. 7-0 when scoring 63 or more points are the Rams. 0-9 when scoring 62 or fewer.
Now, you don't need a 3 here. If you get a 3 and you're Phillips, you get the opportunity to take one, fine. But you can get a 2 here and not try to go for the throat.
George Mason does shoot it at 70% from the free throw line as a team. Rhode Island.
Now, if you get a 2, you got to foul after that.
Looking to get it in. This is Vital. taking it to the rim. Off the window and in. It's a 1-point game. 22.9 to go.
I like that move. You don't go for the 3. You just get the 2. Now here you get to either get the steal or you get the foul. And that's really good defense again, forcing a timeout from George Mason.
And they denied.
I mean, all the momentum is in Rhode Island's hands here. Can George Mason find enough to finish this one out? Because they are struggling right now.
What a play there from Vital.
It has been the 2 guards that have taken this team on their shoulders and gotten into that attack mode.
For those of you tuning in for St. Joseph's versus VCU women's basketball, you'll be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN as soon as it begins. And of course, we'll get you out there immediately after the conclusion of this thriller here in the Atlantic 10. Quick reset. George Mason now without any timeouts. Rhode Island still has a timeout remaining. Vital had a nice second half, got 12 points. 4 Rhode Island players in double figures. We talked about in the open their depth. Many players on this Rhode Island team can give them 10, 11, 12, but they need someone to give them 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, they do. They've been able to claw back into this one now. George Mason was able to advance the basketball, which was big.
They get it in, and Suarez draws the foul here. Foul on Vital. That is her 4th foul. It's been a 15-0 run here for Rhode Island. They trail by 1. And they will swarm in on Suarez. A foul committed here. Sophie Phillips. That was kind of dangerous because they had Vital in the game with 4 fouls. And again, and the St. Joseph VCU women's basketball game is underway, now available streaming free on CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as we can. Inbound comes into Suarez, and then Vital committing the foul there. And that's it for her.
Yeah, she's been a real key piece at the end of the game here.
And she's going to have to come out. I'll be honest, Julianne, I'm a little surprised in that situation. You keep her in to get that 5th foul.
I don't know about keeping her in. It's the fact that she went for the foul. Somebody else should have been up there going for it. And instead, she was put in that position. Somebody else should have been in that position, probably covering near the out of bounds there.
So with 18 and 17 seconds to go, Suarez goes 1 of 2 at the foul line. Carr's got it. We got a jump ball, and the possession arrow keeps him on the George Mason end of the floor.
Wow, that's tough. Because that was good hustle from Carr. It just didn't go their way there.
You think a little quick on the jump ball call? No, she's got both hands on it. Suarez looking to inbound. George Mason up by 2 and a foul committed by DeBras. So that's going to send Kennedy Harris to the free throw line. She's a 75% free throw shooter, with just 1 of 3 on the day. With 16 seconds remaining, she can make this a 4-point game. Harris makes the first. Back up 3. Boy, what a break with the possession arrow heading your way on that jump ball. Harris makes them both. It's up to 4. DeBras brings it up. 10 seconds. They get it to Phillips. Phillips lines up for the 3. A rainbow shot way off the mark. 5 seconds to go. And they'll try to commit the foul. And they finally do on Suarez with a 2.5 seconds remaining.
George Mason looking like they're going to hang on to this one. Boy, this last few possessions, really tough. Rhode Island had they been able to get that putback at that end of possession when it was just a 1-point game, or it was a 3-point game at that point.
They had a 16-point lead evaporate all the way down to 1. But doing just enough down the stretch that they're going to sneak out of Kingston, Rhode Island with a victory. It's going to snap a 5-game losing streak for the program against URI, as another free throw was good to make it 71-65. George Mason hasn't had a field goal in 6.5 minutes. They've needed to do it here at the free throw line. They've been able to make them here down the stretch. Just 1.5 to go.
Yeah, not scoring in that amount of time for a team like George Mason, it does show a lot about Tammy Reese's program and their ability to defend, and that is their calling card.
Again, the St. Joseph's VCU women's basketball game already underway. It's available streaming on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as we are done here. Three-point from the corner, off the mark, and that's going to do it. George Mason snaps a 5-game losing streak to Rhode Island as they nearly see a 16-point lead evaporate, but they sneak out of town with a 71-65 win over Rhode Island. For